What's up and welcome back to the channel. I'm your boy, Ambitious Cam. You're here on Cam Survives. Come with me as I travel across the US into different states, carving my path of income as I go. Stick around till the end of the vlog and let me know what you all thought of the episode. Understanding oneself is the journey I think we all should be on. I don't believe that we will ever really know ourselves, but I don't think that's the point. I think that we are meant to just go along in this world on this journey and to be kind to people. It's interesting because I look back on my life and I see all my choices that I made. The choices that I made put me in situations that were not conducive to my well-being. Choices that have led me further and further away from my children, further and further away from liking myself as who I am. I never understood the reason why we're here. I don't get it. I never understood it. Because this world, it always seems like it's full of negative and hurtful and harmful things and people that want to do harm to you. And that there's nobody in this world that really cares about you. And, as an individual. And there's so much of that, aspects of that could be true and that I guess are true. But if you think about it, everything in this world around us, everything that circles us is a reflection of ourself. Everything that circles around us, our environment, everything is a reflection of ourself. A reflection of who we are portraying ourselves to be. Who we are essentially, most of the time, pretending to be. Because it seems like, and I don't think I'm alone here, so do me a favor, drop it down in the comments below if you feel like you can relate to this. Let me know. I didn't always look at myself as I was putting on a front or a mask, I guess. I always looked at myself as just trying to do what I can to be a part of it. Part of the system, part of society, part of everybody's normal, everyday type of living. That is what I felt like I was doing as a whole. I wasn't actually trying to put on a mask. And that's me reflecting on this, and I say that because now I'm looking at my life and I don't feel the need to try to relate, to try to blend in with everybody, try to be a part of everybody's life, or I don't have this feeling that I need to belong somewhere, in a clique or in a community or anything for that, for the most part. I am pretty much happy and content doing my own thing, living my own life without trying to impress anybody or really impress upon anybody my way of thinking. And by the way, yeah, I'm heading from Michigan back to Indiana, a short 1-hour trip. I've got some business down in Indiana I've got to take care of, and then I'll be back up to Michigan for work, but more on that later. In my last episode I put out, I started the video off talking about Confucius and what exactly it meant to follow that. And again, only touching the surface, because when it comes to that stuff, I'm still an infant, and I don't want to steer you guys wrong. I don't want to lie to you guys. I don't want to go on a path of, inadequate knowledge or incorrect knowledge. So as I'm digging into it more, and now I'm looking back on Confucius again, but this time I want to bring up Lao Tzu and the book of Tao Te Ching, which, in my opinion, I haven't read it yet, but in my opinion, it breaks down all the metaphors, all the philosophies of Wu Wei, and what I really get from just the top level of that is simply just go with the flow and put in effortless action. Effortless action is pretty much Wu Wei. That's what it pretty much is. Don't stop anything from happening. Don't force anything to happen. Simply let things happen. But I'm not going to sit here and not put in work. I'm not going to sit here and not think of ways to improve upon myself. That's not what Wu Wei, that's not what it's all about. What it is now, though, my life is going to be focused on forcing nothing. Trying my best to force nothing. I want everything to happen naturally. And from the way I understand it, you allowing things to happen naturally instead of forcing things, it will help things fall into more of an order. It won't be as chaotic. It might seem chaotic. It might be spontaneous. It might seem spontaneous. But in reality, it's the universe working its way out. It's the universe doing what it does to keep things in order the way it does. And we are a part of the universe. We are part of this environment. We are part of nature, or we originally are part of nature. And nature always has its way of growing. It doesn't need our help. The trees around you, if you look outside, if you look at the trees around you, they may not be perfectly shaped. They may have some oddness to them, but nonetheless, I guarantee that you really did nothing to help make that tree grow. That tree, by nature's divine, grew on its own. And there's a semi-truck here. So as you look at those trees, and you can see some of them have some amazing shape, some amazing beauty to them, and some of them are just crazy and wild looking, and there's branches in some areas of the tree that's sticking out much further than the rest of the tree, and you look at that tree and say, man, that needs to be trimmed. But the universe as a whole did not say that. The universe said, well, that tree limb wants to stick out from the rest of them. We're going to let it happen. We're not going to control it. We're not going to stunt its growth. We're not going to hold it back from becoming what it wants to be. Now, that's the simplest form in my mind that I could think of right here and now as I'm driving down the highway. But it goes the same for us as an individual. That one tree limb wanted to stick out. That one individual wants to stick out, wants to do its own thing by its own design. My entire life, I've been thinking I had to do what I was told I had to do. And what the funny thing is, and it's not that funny, but it is at the same time if you kind of have a sense of humor about it. is I was doing everything that I thought I needed to do to fit the part. I've been trying to hold down jobs through my career lifestyle, my career life, and appease people, make people happy. Hell, I got married, and I settled down and got married and had kids because I was told that's what I was supposed to do. That's what I was taught I was supposed to do. Here I am in my mind believing that I need to get this done now. Apparently there's some type of time frame on it. I'm not sure how to sort that out, but I'll sort it out afterwards perhaps. So I end up getting married, I end up having kids, and come to find out it's to the wrong person. I rushed it. I was up there at the altar when I was getting married, at the pew, or whatever you want to call it, or whatever it is called. I don't care anymore. But whatever it's called, I was standing there next to my wife, sweating profusely, just from almost every orifice of my body. And every part of my body was screaming at me. I didn't know what the hell it was saying. I didn't know if it was excitement. I didn't know what it was. But now I'm looking back. I know my body was telling me that my gut feeling, you guys know what that is, right? That gut feeling that you don't really know how to explain, but it comes from within. My gut was telling me to not get married. And here I am forcing it. Up here at the altar saying I do, when deep down inside I was screaming I don't. And I really wish I could have turned around and ran the other way. I wish, looking back, I could have done that. But I didn't. But I was trying to fit the norm. I was trying to do what people were telling me I needed to do. And I even listened. I was taking this advice from people that I didn't even trust. How sick is that? Who I didn't even really like. It was my foster parents, my foster mother. I was taking that advice from her. That's how bad it was for me. I had no idea what path I wanted to be on in my life, so I allowed somebody else or other people to choose what path I went down. And here I am all these years later, paying for that. I'm paying for it because I allowed that to happen. I made the decision to follow their plan for me, their want for me, their whatever for me. Whether they did it in goodwill or not, which is neither here nor there. But now I am working on becoming that person. I am working on doing my own life, not allowing anybody else to dictate it or control it. And you see, the thing is that goes back to what I was talking about with Lao Tzu and Wu Wei, Confucius, Buddha, all of it. It all actually goes hand in hand with the biblical sense, and I don't believe that any of it would have existed without God. And God also could not have done what he had done without at least what Lao Tzu calls the way, the natural way of things. I believe that it all goes hand in hand, and we can go a little deeper on those subject matters in a later video. But here I really just wanted to touch base on that's what I want to be focusing on in my life. That is what I'm trying to do right now. And again, it feels like a series of spontaneous actions because I'm doing what I can to look inside and listen to the inside of what's coming from within, and simply allowing things to take place their natural speed, their natural way, without interfering into them too much. Because if you if you put a penny in between a small tree, you know, as it's growing and it sprouts up a little bit, if you put a penny right there in the middle of that, the penny won't get pushed out of the way. The tree will simply grow around it, completely avoiding the penny, and keep on going. And in a sense, that is also what I'm doing. I'm not making anything happen. I am listening to my inner voice, the universe. And right now, the universe is telling me to buy a phone mount. I'm simply going with the flow. And now let's bring you guys back to the present, where I actually live most of my life at now. I don't spend a lot of time in the future. I do what I can to stay out of the past, other than to look back on it to reflect. Again, with my future, I look on my past to reflect for my future. But I'm constantly living in the now. And right now, like I said, I'm heading to my sister's place. There's some work I need to get done around there. Also, she's got a nice porch, and I can sit on the porch and get some computer work done. But it has been 2 whole weeks since I've locked down a 9-to-5 type of job, and I've let things just go on the way they're going. I don't need a lot of money. You know, people might want a lot of money from me, but I don't need a lot of money. People want more money from me than I want for myself. Now, ain't that a sad truth? But let's just talk about this. I've been door dashing, I've been doing roadie, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. I had a couple of insta-work type of jobs where I worked for one day and that was it. But for the last 2 weeks, I haven't held down a job. But this next Monday, I will be starting at a new job up in Michigan. And I will be there as long as I need to be. They want me to go permanent, but I let them know my situation. And they are completely okay with that. They're going to hang on to me as long as they can. Part of this is due to the fact that I have knowledge in the field of what that job operates under. So when I walked in there and I did my interview, I knew in my head it was more of an orientation than an interview. I was orientating myself to the people that were going to be my bosses. I was orientating myself to the environment that I was going to be working in. I was personally interviewing them, and I did feel a little unease about it, but again, I didn't want to control that. I felt that the universe is putting this into play for me so I can have a way of doing what I want to do every single day of the week. I'll be working from 5 a.m. till 1 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. The hours are kind of up in the air right now because my agency that I'm going through said it's 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. But when I did the orientation of the interview at the actual company, they had said 5 to 1:30. I said, great. Now, whichever it is, it will work out just fine. But the thing is if I work from 5 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., that opens up my entire afternoon. I can go and get some stuff done on my computer. I can go to the library. I can work DoorDash or roadie afterwards. I can take advantage of other opportunities out there at the same time of holding down a full-time job. This is the universe providing to me from me not forcing it. Because I went all the way up to the northeast, top tippity top of Michigan, And I stayed up there for 3 days helping my family out. Well, I was visiting, but I also mowed the grass. I helped my grandpa change the mower blades. I did a whole bunch of stuff around there because I felt like I was supposed to. I didn't control it. I found myself in the situation, and this push with inside of me and outside of me kind of coming together as one. First of all, telling me to go up north, and there was an absolute great reason why I went up north. I didn't know what it was at first, but it presented itself. I was able to do a bunch of stuff that my grandpa and grandma cannot do, and they didn't have the company or the people around to do it for them. So whether it took what it took from me, I don't know what it took from me. My time, I'm happy to give that to them. I'm happy to do nice things for them because they needed the help. And they fed me. There's all kinds of winning involved. But in any event, this third night that I was there, I got a call from my agency letting me know, hey, we got this interview set up. We can get you there at this time and so. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. I had no plan of where I was gonna go. I put things in motion. I have spent a lot of time on my phone setting up apps and checking out different staffing agencies. Now that's me doing that work. That's me putting in effort to try to get the wheels turning, right? But the effortless effort is just that. Now it's in play, and now all I have to do is wait for a phone call. It's more simplified than it actually is, believe me, because in the back of my mind, every once in a while, it would creep up. Do I need to be worrying about this? Do I need to give them a call? Or are they going to call me? But those thoughts only popped up for a moment, and then they were gone, because I was living in the here and now in that moment, of course. And there was things that needed to be done around the house. So I let that go off and do its own thing. But then my second night, it was my second night there, I got a phone call from them, and they're like, hey, can you do this? I'm like, yes, I'll be there, no problem. And it's all effortless. And I did the orientation, and then I went to the main office, the staffing agency office today, and did that stuff with them. Everything's locked down now. I start first thing Monday morning, and it is Friday. It is the weekend before the 4th of July. And a quick heads up, there will not be a video coming out on the 7th of July. I will have had too much going on throughout that week. I won't be working Friday the 4th of July. I'll be spending that with family and potentially door dashing. Shh, don't tell anybody. I hope you guys followed me close enough with this video. I was a little bit here and there throughout the video. I didn't exactly stay on one path, but that is my life as it is anyways. I am not necessarily on one path. I am on one path of goodwill and righteousness and virtue. That is definitely what I'm trying to obtain through my life now, is virtue. And in order to do that, I need to continue to live in the now, the moment, the current moment that's passing. Just like that black Tesla is in the moment passing me right now. God, I love Teslas. Don't hate me for it. It's an opinion. I am here, living in the now. I almost took the wrong exit. Not paying attention. I am living in the now. I do not live in the past. I do not live in the future. It takes too much out of me. takes way too much out of me to live in the past and to worry about the future like that. There's no sense in it. There's really not. The only sense that there is living in it now, in the present moment. And like I said, it may seem completely random because the universe will be spontaneous because it acts when it believes it is time to act. And when that time comes, hopefully I'm listening. Hopefully you're listening when it comes time for you to act. So you can act on those moments and don't miss out on what the universe has to offer you in that moment, in that present moment. Alright guys, this has been your boy Ambitious Cam. We will see you guys in the next episode.